One of the things I've learned to think about life is death. And death is not something that you just easily can overcome or whatever. You know, it's just, sometimes people just don't understand it. And I've had to learn the hard way through this death of my son. But since his death, one of the things I've learned right here next to the medical plaza is this beautiful garden. I wish I could better describe it to you and how well it's kept. But one of the things that I really liked is the benches. The benches that I have in memory of somebody's name. And not only the benches, but they also have paths of like these little bricks that eventually will have names of donors' family that will have in memory of them. I will show more of them to you later. But I want to show you how beautiful this is. In back over that way, there is a memorial bench that is so beautiful. But look at this. This is what I'm talking about, of what I want to someday do for the Duchenne Memorial Wall, is to have this beautiful botanical garden that not only will have a wall to remember our sons by, but to have a park and paths where we can walk and enjoy the memory of our sons and who they are and where they come from, and mostly why God put them into our lives. We may never understand why God brought them into our lives, much less why God took them. But there was a purpose and there is a plan for it that God puts to help us through our journey with life. We give to who gave for our future, their past and memory. These little plaques they have in here, remembrance and honor of those who donated their bodies to medical education. Thank you for the gift of teaching. And I'm trying to see what this one says. With gratitude and humility honors of the memory of those who have gifted their bodies to further medical knowledge for generations to come. Basically what it is many people have donated their bodies to medical so that we can learn more about why our bodies have given up in death. The knowledge was that the gift that these were mere strangers gave to us, young strangers who they somehow found their courage to trust. We leave this tree so you might know how much your gift has helped us grow. Isn't that just fabulous how we can be thankful to the ones who have left us? Saying thank you forever and sincerely for as long as we have a voice. So this garden here in this area is a garden to thank those who donated their bodies for science so that we may understand the diseases that devour us. We thank those donating themselves to allow us the privilege of perfecting the art of medicine. This is such a fabulous garden that this is why I want to do something to remember our sons by. Not just the wall, but why the wall was there and why it gave us a purpose to remember who they really were and what they really meant to us. it's more than just a bench to sit down and remember. It's more than just the plants, the trees, the plaques, the walls that bring memories, the flowers. All of this resembles God's love to us. And we may not always understand that love, that purpose, that He gave us a beautiful child to love, to enjoy, to accept, respect, who gave us hope, who gave us reasons to live, who brought us to understand what love was about, to what forgiveness is about, to what acceptance is about. But to understand why God put them into our lives. God has a purpose and a plan for everything. And although we may not always understand that purpose and that plan, we have to learn to accept it and appreciate that God knows what is best for us. Yes, at an angle we can say, oh, He doesn't know. But He does know. He knows things before we were born to the day of our last breath. And we have to find a way to open our minds, a way to open our hearts and say, thank you, Lord, for putting that person in my path, for putting that person in my life to teach me how to love you more, how to accept you more, how to teach me to forgive and to forget and to move on. This is something that Timothy taught me in so many ways, and so many, I don't have to express it, but if it had not been for Timothy to be in my life, I don't think I would be here right now. He knew why Timothy needed to be in my life. And he knew why not only Timothy to be in my life, but why Timothy had this disease. He didn't give the disease to Timothy. The disease came from the sins of our fathers. But the disease was to not only help me, but mostly to help Timothy, to help Timothy's father. And we have to find a way to appreciate what God has in mind for us and what that purpose may be. God has a purpose for each one of us. And until we open our eyes and our hearts and our minds and our souls, we will never really understand that, much less accept it. One day, we will have this, folks. This will be like the Duchenne Memorial Wall Botanical Garden. And it will have plaques and trees and plants and whatever it is we want that would be like a little piece of heaven. A little piece of heaven that we can say, thank you, Lord, for putting Timothy in my life. Even if it was for a short time, there was a purpose. And I know whatever that purpose is, it was to teach me to love and to accept you, but mostly to prepare me for the kingdom of heaven.